that both countries have to cooperate and have to cooperate with each other and to coordinate together to combat terrorism inside their lands. Because doing this will keep their territorial integrity from one hand, and will prevent any terrorist groups to cut apart of Russia or even of Egypt. This is one point, but actually I think that they have to, Russia has to provide Egypt with the weapons that Cairo needs to in its war against terrorism, because there are very advanced weapons that Egypt has repeatedly called on Moscow to provide it with. Actually, I'm not a military expert, or even I'm not a military specialist, so I don't know the kinds of the exact kinds of weapons that Egypt may be needing to from Russia. But anyway, the authorities of both countries have to cooperate in this field and to sign a rapid deal under which Egypt can export its necessary needs to use them in combating terrorism, specifically the Mirage, the MAGE 29 jet fighters that Egypt has asked Russia for giving it. This is one point. Another one lies in that Russia has a former experience in combating terrorism inside its lands. So the Russian authorities have to inform the Egyptian authorities of such an experience.
So benefit from lessons taught in that domain.
Exactly, to take lessons from the same experience and to apply them to Egypt. So I think that if, yes, a third point lies in that the intelligence of both countries can work and cooperate together to provide each other with the needed information about the strongholds and hideouts of terrorists everywhere. If they succeeded to do so, they will cut the period of researching for terrorists everywhere, and they will put end completely to terrorism, whatever it is.
Right. Ambassador Al Orabi, you talked about tourism, and how about the educational exchanges and the scientific exchange between both countries?
Well,
we do have the Russian language here in Al faculty, for instance. How can we diversify our options more?
You make me remind the 50s and 60s of the last century, when we sent thousands of Egyptian students to Moscow. They studied in the Russian universities. They came back with a good experience. We have to restore this situation once more. There is a gap. We have to fill it. What I want to stress upon that Russia has a very deep base, industrial base in Egypt. We made steel and iron factory. They built the high dam, aluminum, and so on. So we need, and they are ready to provide some developing points to develop these industries. It's very important. Second, the Russians, they have good experience in many fields, chemistry, space, whatever you say, and we have to take advantage of these experts, bring them here back to Egypt, and benefit out of them. It reminds me when I was in Russia, in Moscow, in the early 90s, the beginning of the change in Soviet Union to Russia Federation. The first who got benefit out of it it's the Americans. They got Russian experts to their country. They got advantage of their experience. So why don't we do the same? And they are ready for that. So we have to work on this point too.
Right. Mr. Ambassador, how did the challenges differ now from the 90s when you were there as our ambassador in Moscow?
Well, challenges are completely different because between 70s and late 90s, the relations with Russia were a little bit quiet. Because when we expelled the Russian experts from Egypt, it caused a kind of dilemma for them. They never forget it. The Russians, they are not easy to forget, and they need time to change their mind. So
you think the atmosphere now is much more conducive for a better sense of partnership?
It's an excellent time.
Right.
And as I repeat, Putin came in a good time to take advantage out of it. And he posed a kind of challenge to the whole world. I am here, I got advantage of my visit, so where are the others?
Right.
They have to move. And Egypt, we have to take benefit out of that.
Right. How can Egypt take benefit out of that, Mr. Zakaria? As Mr. Ambassador said, Putin was here delivering the message to the whole world. I'm in Egypt, and he is, seizing the opportunity for this sense of partnership. So where are the rest of the world?
This actually, I couldn't understand the last part of your question well. What do you mean by the rest of the world?
That was the comment by Mr. Ambassador. I mean, how can the world share in Egypt today? Putin came and he's realizing how Egypt is a heavyweight today.
Well, this is a chance.
And he sees the opportunity.
Let me first say that Egypt is regarded an open market in the Middle East. So every country over the world can invest in it. And this is what the Egyptian government openly and frankly calls for. And why the Egyptian government plans to hold a Sharm el-Sheikh economical conference or forum, just to invite every country and to say to them, all the international investors must be welcomed in Egypt, because right now we are saving security. Everybody who welcome to Egypt must be safe and secured. Egypt wants us to send a message to the whole world that Egypt is right now coexisting peacefully with its neighbors. Right now we are signing a peace treaty with Israel, so we are not forced to launch war against anybody else, whatever he is. But at the same time, we are completely ready to defend our lands. Yes, and this is the so-called balance of power, or this is the real equation that President Sisi tries over time to maintain and to tell the world about. But anyway, the world can right now invest in Egypt and can take an advantage of the open chance that Egypt offers,
and the incentives that the
exactly because the public and the Egyptian public and private sectors are completely ready to cooperate with the international investors and to expand hands for them and to help them in succeeding their own investments, provided that they have such an investment has to be in favor of both sides.
Right, Mr. Ambassador, a final note, because we have to wrap up for the top stories.
Well, as a matter of fact, we have to notice the stand of Russia towards Egypt internationally and international organizations. They support Egypt's enter the Security Council as
a non-permanent member.
In 2016-17. This is a point. are backing us in our stand towards terrorism.
They are backing us in a sense of economic partnership before the world.
They can easily support Egypt technically in confronting the terrorism.
Right. Let us seize this moment of opportunity together and build on what has been achieved. Excellency Ambassador Nabil Al Orabi, former Egyptian ambassador to Moscow, thank you very much for coming. And I think Mr. Zakaria Osman, a journalist at Al-Ahram Daily, thank you very much, Mr. Osman, for being here. Gentlemen, you are a real addition to the show. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us.